Hey, what's going on guys, the Dean List here. First and foremost, I want to say happy holidays. I hope everyone's enjoying whatever holiday you celebrate, whether that's Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it is. In my last video, I said that the hero I'd make and build a guide for next would either be Countess or Greystone. I played a decent amount with both heroes over the break, so I'll actually have another guide coming out shortly, but in this guide I wanted to focus on Countess. Now Countess is a hero that I think is a little underpowered right now. Her early game is pretty atrocious. On level 1, her ult does around 250 damage, which isn't a lot at all when you compare that to some of the other casters that have AoE ultimates like Gideon, Gadget, and Howitzer. It's not really until mid game and late game that Countess can really shine. I also think the range of her blink is too short. I want to say the range of her blink is shorter than the range of some of the blink cards like Blink Charm and Blink Shot, but don't quote me on that. Because of those two things, Countess is a very easy hero to counter. She's a very squishy character to begin with, and she doesn't have an escape, so any type of CC will usually end up in her being killed. Nevertheless, she can do a lot of damage in the right situations. Since none of the rangers or casters build health anymore like they did on Legacy, she can pretty much one-shot any ranged hero with ease mid to late game. With that being said, I want to get into the build. It's an all damage build with some energy pen and a little bit of armor built in. Hope you enjoy the video. If you do, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Before I get into the gameplay, I want to show you guys a build. For my prime card, I have the Warlord. For my consumables, I have a health potion, 2 mana potions, a strike token, a healer token, and blink charm. If you don't have 2 mana potions, you can just use card crafting. That's what I did. For my equipment, I have a shadow scroll with 3 dire shocks. I have a second shadow scroll with a minor cast, a cast, and a major cast. I have a sorcerer's ward with 3 minor strikes. I have a thorn greenweave with a minor strike, a strike, and a major strike. I have a second thorn greenweave with 3 major strikes. I have a Venom Shell with a minor cast, strike, and a major strike. I have a second Venom Shell with a minor cast, and a major cast. I have Stab Link with 2 lesser heals and a heal. And my last card is Madspore Sash. That card's very situational. If I'm landing against an Iggy Scorch, that's really the only time I'd ever really use it. To start the game off, I use a healer token and a health potion. You can use a mana potion instead of the health potion if you want, with whatever you prefer. I chose to go with the extra health because I was laying against a Gideon and I knew that his Cosmic Rift would do a lot of damage to me. Now with Countess, you want to play her super aggressively. If you don't, a good ranged mid laner will pick you apart while you're farming. Since her abilities cost a lot of mana, especially early game, you want to try to use them as little as possible on minions and save it for the opposing hero that you're laning against. So as Gideon begins to push up on me, I use my blink to engage and use Dark Tide to get some damage in. If you don't do that, the enemy mid laner will just poke you to death until you either go back or he's able to kill you. As mid laner, you want to help out your off laner as much as possible. Gideon went back to base and my lane was pushed up, so I headed over to left lane where the enemy Twin Blast and Steel were overextended. I'm able to ult on Twin Blast, Fangmao follows up and ults him as well, and we're able to secure the first kill of the game. Now once you have 9 points, you want to equip your Sorcerer's Ward. You're going to fill that out with 3 minor strikes. Once you have around 15 points, you want to equip your first Thorned Greenweave. Use your 1-point cards such as your strike tokens and your mana potions as needed. Now as I get back to lane here, I see that Quang has invisibility buff and he's coming up behind Gideon for a gank. He's able to land his tether and his ultimate as Gideon teleports away, and I'm able to blink under the tower for my second kill of the game. With Countess, you really have to look for easy kills early game because if you're behind on card points, you won't be that useful to your team. So here I see the enemy team Countess, she's 2 levels lower than me, so I'm able to alter and secure my third kill of the game. With 5 card points to spend, I finished my first Thorn Greenweave. This puts me at 66 power. At 28 points, I equipped a Venom Shell for more damage and a little basic armor to give me some protection against auto attackers. Equipping this card gives me 132 damage for the match. As I head over to right lane, a teamfight breaks out. With Countess, you don't want to rush in when you engage. You want to identify the other team's high priority targets and eliminate them before they have the opportunity to do damage to your team. I see the enemy team Countess and I'm able to use my ultimate and R1 ability to finish her off. With 6 card points to spend, I back and finish off my second Venom Shell, which puts me at 186 power. I then get rid of my health potion and equip my first Shadow Scroll. Now if you see that the enemy team heroes are building a lot of energy armor, you can equip the Shadow Scroll a lot sooner than I did. After a huge team fight where I was able to secure 2 kills, I pick up blue buff and purple buff. I head into the enemy jungle where I find an unsuspecting Countess. As she heads over to green buff, I ult her, use Dark Tide to steal green buff. She then uses her ult against me, but the shield from green buff kills her. I return back to base with 8 card points to spend. I finish my Shadow Scroll and equip my second Shadow Scroll, which gives me 234 power and 10 ability pen. Now at this point in the game, I was way ahead of everyone in card points, so I was looking to be really aggressive. I see a team fight breaking out near Orb Prime, so I naturally pick up Purple Buff, because I mean, like, who doesn't want to be invisible? And I head in. Gideon has no idea I'm behind him, so I ult him and I finish him off with my Blink and my R1 ability. I'm also able to help out Fang Mao with Steel and Greystone to secure a double kill. Now at this point, our Twin Blast gets really salty here, which I think is pretty funny. He had poor positioning all game and kept dying in all the team fights, so he kept blaming me and his support. This is just a rule of thumb for all carries. Stay behind your support in team fights and wait for them to engage. If you engage first, you're going to be focused and you're going to die. With 8 card points to spend, I back and add 2 major shocks to my Shadow Scroll. To finish the build, you're going to want to complete your Shadow Scroll with another major shock and add your last Thorn Green Weave for 3 major strikes. In the end, the final build is going to have 30 ability pen, 282 damage, 36 basic armor, and 38.5 ability armor. With the opposing team getting down, we group up and head for Orb Prime. As you can see with this build, I'm hitting for almost 500 on Dark Tide and 400 on Blade Siphon. With the 30 ability pen, that's going to be true damage to most heroes. In combination with her ultimate, which does over 800 damage, Countess can do 1700 burst damage with this build, which is more than enough to kill any ranger who hasn't built any health or armor. After securing Orb Prime, we group up and head to left lane. Steel and Twin Blast are powerless to stop us from taking the inhib as we have way too much damage. As Steel tries to run away, my team still is able to land a great ultimate which kills Twin Blast, and I'm able to finish off Steel with my ultimate which does 742 damage. After regaining my position, I try to kill Gideon as well with Blade Siphon and Dark Tide, but he's able to escape with literally 1 HP left. RIP. At this point in the game, with just Gideon up, the rest of the team should have just continued to attack the core and ended the game. But since everyone backed, we end up making a second attempt at the core before taking down a second inhib. To add insult to injury, Steel lands another ult on their Steel. He's able to kill him with a basic attack and we win the game. So as you can see, Countess can be very deadly in the right situations. In the early game, focus on trying to secure easy kills to get a card advantage over your opponents. Once you have a significant card advantage, prioritize taking out the opposing team's carries and casters to help drive your team to victory. Thanks for watching my video. If you like my Countess guide, please subscribe, leave a like, and a comment below letting me know what other heroes you'd like to see me play. Like I said earlier in the video, the next hero that I'm going to make a guide for will be Greystone. If you haven't done so already, take a look at my Lieutenant Bellica and Sparrow building guides, which can be found here. With that being said, I hope everyone has a good holiday and a good new year, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!